Hello, I'm Steve Tomasula from the Creative Writing Program, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce tonight's reader, Lucy Corin. Lucy's work came to me first through her first novel, which is, you can see up here, I think at the bottom. I put the first one on the bottom. Everyday Psycho Killers, A History for Girls. And just judging from that title, if I can go into a confessional mode here for a moment, it just seemed like a book that I should read. I had two daughters myself, and it seemed like if anybody should read this book, it'd be me, if not them. And in fact, it was, because it's this fictional history of the strong and centuries-long link between psycho killers and girls. Listen, for example, to this list of murders that appears in the book. Black widows and bluebeards and baby farmers, mad bombers, mad scientists, mad this or that monster, freeway murderers and highway killers, night stalkers, voyeurs, slayers, devils and demons, Jason, Chucky, Freddy, the supernatural ones without the superhero names. This odd form of understatement, her narrator points out. And we can't help feel by how casually we accept this linkage between murderers and girls, even as a form of entertainment, even as a kind of naturalness. I think just from this brief excerpt, just from this list she composed, we can see where the real interest in her work lies. It's in her ability to take the everyday, the familiar, and hand it back to us in a way that makes us reconsider the mud of culture we've made and live in and take for granted, and also to make us laugh even as we rethink our lives. Since then, I've been reading her work with huge interest. Her short fiction has been published widely in literary magazines like Conjunctions and the Iowa Review, and a number of them have been collected in The Entire Predicament on the top shelf here. Most recently, she's published 100 Apocalypses and Other Apocalypses. Yeah, I think from the titles, Everyday Psycho Killers to The Entire Predicament to 100 Apocalypses, you kind of start to see a pattern emerging here in Lucy's interests. All these works take it as their material the entire range of culture, from crowdsourced reviews about a TV movie named Baby Alive, starring Sissy Spacek, to Godzilla, to gun culture, to the casual way the narrator goes shopping for organic produce in the air conditioning of a Whole Foods-esque store, while people all around the world are engaged in civil wars, are starving, or being swept away by natural disasters. Again, a quote from one of the flash fictions that make up this story, named Fresh in 100 Apocalypses. After so many people were washed away by the disasters, there was usually someone outside the grocery store with a collection bucket. On a sunny day, I biked over, feeling good. I walked around the grocery store, especially the produce islands, feeling pretty good about my choices and my healthy way of life. Here, and throughout the book, Lucy tweaks the idea of apocalypse in both senses of the word, as end time, but also as revelation. But what's revealed is our own contemporary moment. Her sentences are deceptively simple, but on a second reading, they reveal themselves as the prose poetry they have been all along. Speaking of our own complicity in the suffering of others, or the distractions we occupy ourselves with while the world ends around us, and what it is to live at an end time, when end times come, if not to all of us collectively, then at least to each of us individually. Lucy's been a fellow at Breadloaf, Yaddo, Swanee, and the American Academy in Rome, where she was the John Guare Fellow in Literature. She directs the Creative Writing Program at the University of California, Davis, where she's on the faculty of the English department. And please help me in welcoming Lucy Corin.